Whoa! You can see how bad the car is shaking, and everything's shaking in the car. It feels better. It does. Oh, wow. Since buying this car, I've learned a few things. One being, it's a little bit more capable than I originally had thought. But the second thing is, it is still very limited, and unfortunately it doesn't just affect the N-Line. It affects both the N-Line and the NCN7 platform Elantras too, because they both suffer the same problem. And while the Elantra N might actually have this problem from the get-go, the N-Line doesn't seem to have the problem until you start adding some power, which you already know we have done. Via JB4, an intake, which is questionable whether it adds any power or not, a DIY intercooler sprayer, and a whole lot of ethanol in the gas tank. Doing all that has added a lot of extra power. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a side effect. Oh yeah. Unfortunately, these cars suffer from wheel hop. The tires are skipping, they're bouncing, they're moving when they shouldn't be. And so many more variables can affect this depending on how much power you have, the time of the year, the temperature of the surface. During the cooler months, oh my goodness, it's bad. And that wheel hop, not only is it bad for traction, it can break stuff. Break axles, can just shake stuff loose. It's not good. And to make matters worse, the N-Line has one huge Achilles heel compared to the N, which affects its acceleration. It's not just power. Oh no. Unfortunately, N-Lines do not come with a limited slip differential. One wheel is spinning. And if the one wheel getting all that torque just so happens to start flopping around, well, you can see how that can really kill your acceleration times. If you're really trying to go after, you know, personal best for 0 to 60, or I mean, if you're just trying to get good times in the eighth or the quarter, acceleration is key. And it's not like you can even launch these cars that hard to begin with. They don't have launch control like the N's, you know, where you can launch at a higher RPM. So you have to kind of take off at idle. It just has to, it does what it does. And the N-Lines simply aren't built for all of the performance the N is. With that, you need every little bit of help you can get. Hopefully one simple, inexpensive part will take care of all of these problems and hopefully more. Let's go ahead and take a look at that part and see how it's going to hopefully benefit our little Elantra here. So let me show you what's going on under here. Come with me and you'll see a place where things aren't quite working right. There we go, there's the culprit right there. This right here, lower mount torque arm, or whatever the hell they call it, this is the problem. Okay, well, it's not the mount, but it's the rubber bushing right here. And most bushings, you know, they're got a little bit of firmness to them. This flexes. It's great for NVH. What it's not good for, trying to transfer more power than stock. Huzzah! And hopefully these other two aren't so bad. I mean, they can't possibly be, can they? This is a... hold that thought.
A few minutes later.
A little bit more work than I thought. We got her out. Alright, now comes the time to disassemble the mount itself. This should be pretty straightforward. Just a couple ugga-duggas on this little bolt right here, and... that's it. Now, I've seen people talk about this, but look at that. Look at all of that crud. That's all just rubber that's been, you know, chewed up from rubbing against the metal here as it flexes around. And my car only has 18,000 miles on it. So think how bad this gets over a span of 100,000 miles. Eesh. I don't even want to know how bad wheel hop is by that point. But you can see this is I mean, this stuff is really soft. I've actually never seen engine mount this soft before. Like even exhaust hangers don't even seem this soft. Here it is. This is what's on the car. It's cleaning everything out. Wow, it's all apart. Actually, this backside here, I can't believe how much gunk is in there. Look at that. That is gross. Grody, man. Let's go ahead and open up our Whiteline bushing here. I'm curious to know exactly, at least from the feel of the hand standpoint, the difference this makes. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Right away. This is like a plastic. You can see it's almost like 3D printed maybe. Or I'm not even sure. I'm sure it's probably maybe some molded plastic. But yeah, this is a hard... It's still slightly pliable. I mean, ever so slightly. See, this is more or less what I would expect a factory rubber bushing. Something that's usually a little bit more stiff like this, but not like completely solid. You can compare it to the factory, or I can easily squeeze the factory bushing and, you know, yeah. So hopefully the idea is these eliminate all that hop. The worst case scenario, you just spin the tires a little. And if I was smart, I would quickly read through their instructions. Not to say that there's anything I'm not aware about, but hey, you never know. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty easy. It says insert original bolt, tighten bolt to manufacturer specs. I just wish they would provide it what those specs are. All right, I guess we're time putting it all back together. There we go. Put that on. Put our little flange on there. Put our top half. We got our top piece goes on there like that. And then our center bolt. Lock it all down to some torque spec that I don't know yet. Well, after some research, I figured out kind of my torque specs on things, but it only let me know for this bolt here and those two there. It didn't let me know that one there. So I just rolled the dice, did a few ugga-duggas with the impact gun there, just until it was snug, and I hope that is good enough. Those bolts are like 47 foot-pounds, and this one's like 79 or something like that, so not too bad. I gotta go break out the torque wrench real quick. Good old Harbor Freight Quinn torque wrench. It's a pretty good wrench, I'm not gonna lie. I put together an engine with it, it did what it needed to do, it still does what it needs to do. That's all I needed to do. Alright, going back down in here, let's see. And this side should go up like that, and that fit up there like so. Now I just gotta torque down this last one here, and we'll be all set. This is the big one. 80 foot-pounds, just about. Oh, here we are. It ain't so simple when you're under the car like this trying to torque something like that. You gotta have some muscles. Doctor asked why I don't go to the gym. I simply say, I work on my own cars. I don't need to go to no damn gym. So now the new mount bushing is in. I'm curious to know what it's gonna do. Now I gotta do some road testing and see what we got. Hopefully it works out pretty good. I hope. Alright, so we're off the road test the car here and see how it does. I'm really curious to see the difference. I would love to see an improvement in my traction. But let's get the car started here. Whoa! Oh! Okay, so you may not realize why I just overreacted. So I know the mount was going to transfer more vibrations. I didn't think it was going to transfer this much. Wow, it is really noticeable. Oh, you turn the AC on and it gets even worse. Look at that, you can see the dash shaking. Everything's shaking in the car. Look at that. Dang, steering wheel shaking. Everything's rattling around, and this is just idling. Oh no. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. Like, this makes me feel like something's wrong with the car. Oh my God. The NVH right off idle, just right there. That little bit of blip of throttle it is so bad. It is so incredibly bad. Okay, this is a genuine surprise to me because I did not expect this to be, I could feel it through the brake pedal so bad. Oh my God. Oh, I don't know. At this point, I'm not so sure about it. Like, I don't know if the performance gains is going to outweigh this very bad vibration that it added to the car. Maybe it's just got to like settle in and it will stop, or at least it won't be as bad. See, once you're moving, it feels perfectly normal. Come back down to idle right there. It's just that 500 to 800 RPM range. It is really noticeable. But above that, it's fine. It feels normal-ish. Okay, what I can say though, like when you start rolling into power, it's definitely more direct. They are right. It is more direct feeling. It's definitely better. Okay, that aspect's good. Okay, definitely firmer. Like the shifts feel definitely better. They were 100% right about that. When you short shift especially, it seems, it doesn't feel like there's a flex. Like I could short shift this thing full throttle and you could feel the flex. I don't notice that so much, but I have to come down to a stop. Oh, nice monster truck. I bet his wife is proud. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. It didn't spin at all. Now that's unusual. So it would always spin, and right now the tires aren't even aired down. They're actually aired up a little bit. It would always spin. I showed you earlier in the video. So okay, there's definitely an improvement. That wasn't from a dead stop. I couldn't really do that back there. I need to find somewhere where I can launch from a standstill, and we'll see how the difference is. All right, we're slowing down to a dead stop. Let's see if we have any wheel spin now. Yes. Yes, there is. There's still a little spin. There's still maybe a little bit of flexing, but it feels better. It does. And I don't know how to explain it. It does feel more connected. It almost feels like there's more power. That can't be though, right? I don't know. I don't know exactly what I should be expecting. I did, however, want to see if this improved traction and maybe benefited my 0 to 60 time. I'm sure it's better. I don't know how much, and I'm going to test that. I did get a baseline run 0 to 60 with the stock mount, and this was on a different day, but I'm going to try to make sure that conditions are about as ideal, about the same as they were. My baseline with the stock mount was 6.42, which is not great, but it's actually my PB for the car. It's the fastest 0 to 60 I've recorded so far, since adding all of the extra power. But I'm still on stock tires, and you know, it's just a JB4 and nothing else. So I still got torque limiters and all that in the ECU controlling things. So that came down from like a 6.8 bone stock. But a lot of that's also because I'm having traction issues spinning. But we're about to find out. I'm gonna redo that test, and once I do that, we'll finish up the video. Well, here's the story, everyone. I've been driving around a little bit while it's actually the next day after installing the new bushings, and the vibrations have not gotten any better. If anything, they've gotten worse, and that it's terrible. The added NVH is terrible. This is one of those mods where you definitely have to consider the pros over the cons. Is the potential performance benefit worth sacrificing the livability and drivability of the vehicle? It's one of those mods. Unfortunately, I have some bad news. At least in my testing, I don't sell parts. If I did, maybe my results would be a little bit favorable, but in my testing, real world testing with my car, there's hardly a difference. In fact, I just did a 0 to 60, conditions almost identical, and it actually was slightly slower. It spun, you know, it spun a lot. It was slightly slower. With how the draggy is, and I always give the draggy a little bit of, you know, margin of error because it's not a super accurate device. So I would say the difference is identical. This car did not benefit acceleration-wise to having these mounts in. So really quick, we'll compare some of the macro data and see exactly what's going on between the two runs. So if we look at some of the smaller metrics, 0 to 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way up to 60, it's a good way to see just kind of how the car's tracking. Not much of a difference, and unfortunately it's kind of slower everywhere. But like I said, I just think it's within the realm of the draggy's margin of error. So it's hard for me to justify keeping this on the car. And actually during that 0 to 60, it wheel hopped a little bit still, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know if this is more beneficial on the LSD cars, but on my car, on my Elantra N-Line with the DCT, all this mount has done is just made the car feel like something's broke. I mean, you can see how bad the car is shaking. Let me give it some gas. Look at that. Hyundai made those mounts soft like that for a reason. These engines, like I said, I don't know about the N, but the 1.6 in this car and the way it's set up and how it's mounted, there's a really bad vibration at that RPM. Those mounts are soft for a reason, and it's to isolate that. And at this point, my concern is, since I don't see a performance benefit, that even if I left it on the car, over time I'd worry that that extra vibration may cause damage to other parts. And I don't want that to be a problem. Unfortunately, to me, this mod is not worthwhile on a car you drive every day. I don't see it. I mean, yes, is it going to probably stop the wheel hop in most scenarios, or at least limited? Of course. For my car, the wheel hop doesn't affect the 0 to 60. Like I mentioned before, I air down the tires and I don't seem to get that as much with the old mount, or old mount bushings. You know, maybe I could try a combination of like one half of the old bushing and the new one. Maybe there's a middle ground there that's worth it to help soak up some of this vibration. But overall, it just, yeah, it makes it feel like the car's running really rough and like there's something wrong. I have not seen a performance benefit, and you know, it's just one of those things. But if you want to try this for yourself, maybe your results will be different or more favorable. You can go directly to Whiteline's website. This is what I did. I'm not an affiliate or anything. It's just how I saved myself some money, and thankfully I did, because I might take it off the car. But right now, if you sign up, like first time orders, they're giving you $20. So the mount's like 34 and change at the time of this video, and they're giving you $20 off and free shipping to most of the United States. So if you want to try it, see how your car behaves with it, that's a great way to do it. That's what I would recommend. It's what I did. Save myself a lot of money that way. Worst case scenario, you're only out 15 some bucks and a couple hours of your time, if that's the route you choose to go. But otherwise, that's gonna wrap it up here for the video. Let me know what you think. Put your thoughts in the comments. But if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, share with everyone you know. If you want to see more content like this and haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Keep a lookout for our next Karz Kreated video.